The book I'm showing to you today is Kingwalks, Paths of Glory. It's a very interesting book because this kind of Kingwalks, the first one I saw, it was, I think, between Short and Timan, is a game that Nigel Short shows to everybody continuously. He has memorized it over and over. And it's like, I don't know, the famous Fisher game or Rubinstein, the one that you always see is the same. However, once when I was with Grandmaster Zapata, he showed me one of these games. It was a Sicilian with a King's Walk, which I think finished on A1, so from like a G8 or H8. So it was very interesting. So this book, in my opinion, is the thing that everybody should have just for watching this. The book is made by 17 chapters. Okay, 17 chapters. These are the first 10. And the last 7. I cannot tell you how many games there are because many are fragments of games. They are not entire games, and many are entire games. Okay. Generally, there are at least 6, 10 or more examples for each chapter, which means we have at least 150 or more games. Okay. With that said, I will start to show you the game of today. It comes from chapter 5, Mating Attacks, and it's a very ancient game in a sense because it was played in Paris in 1858 between Andersen and Arnois de Rivière. It starts with e4, e5, knight f3, knight c6, d4, this is Scotch game, right? E takes d4, and bishop c4, knight f6, and knight g5, immediately attacking f7, a la Tal. Knight e5, defending and attacking, bishop b3, h6, kicking the knight away. But by the way, the book is full of diagrams, and this is really nice because you can follow many of these games on diagrams, or you can follow the variation. So that I like it. In this case, I pause a second because I wanted to ask you, what will you play in this position? So pause the video and try to find it. And Andersen, that was very famous as a chess player of 1800, very famous for this combination, played f4, really attacking up again. H takes g5, and f takes e5. Knight takes e4, castle, once more renewing the attack on f7. I think these old games are beautiful for this. They are really attacking. d5. Here you can see a thing called the en passant. He takes d6. This is a good thing because when I started to play chess, I didn't even know that rule. I think many people don't know it, so it's nice to see it. f5, knight d2, and bishop, queen takes d6. And here there is a diagram in the book, which says, needless to say, the engine has a lot to say about the way the first 10 moves of this game were played. It's enough to point out that White's position is every bit as bad as it looks. Yeah, it's really bad, if you can imagine. This is blocking this is attacking this, it's terrible, yeah. But again, this is the beauty of these romantic games, right? Knight takes e4, they were playing real attacking chess. Look at this. Queen takes h2, king f2, and f takes e4. it was better to play queen h4 instead of that, okay? This is what probably the computer says. Queen takes d4. Bishop e7 is not a good move. It's considered dubious, okay? Queen takes e4 and bishop f5. This is the way they used to play. Why play a normal move like rook f8 when a tricky move can be played instead? So why is this a tricky move? Because if he takes, the other guy plays this, right? Rook f8, and so he has pinned the queen. So that's probably the reason, right? But obviously also white has his own tricky moves, right? So try to pause and see what you would play if you were white, not watching the book, okay? So don't try to cheat. Okay, bishop f7, great move, right? King takes f7, queen takes f5, king g8, queen d5, king h7, and now queen e4 check. Beautiful queen e4 check. So it seems that here the author of the book, 01, a very great grandmaster, put a mark, question mark to this move, which means it's bad, because in his opinion, Black, instead of playing this move that is bad, should have tried to play this move and go on a draw with a repeat. However, there is a problem. This is Paris 1858. I don't remember when they started to have the draw after 3 repetitions. So, tac, 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 draw. Because what I remember is that I think there was a famous game, I don't know if between Stanitz and Lasker, in which they repeat like 7 times. You find the score sheet that is wrong because they show you the repeat only after 3 times, and then maybe it was declared a draw, or maybe they continue to play. And I'm sorry, I don't remember it. I'm sure someone can remember that thing. And then they started to make a law that you couldn't repeat more than 3 times, otherwise it's a draw. Because these guys were going on, they didn't care. They went to play 7, 8, 10 moves, the same, continue to give me check, and they continue to move like that, without doing nothing. So this is the interesting comment that 01 made, but again, we must remember history. When did it happen that the repetition became a draw? Okay, and here it says, however, obviously this is bad, and then it says, White would have refused to disgrace himself with such a result and would have found another continuation. So he thinks that White, Anderson, would have not accepted the draw of the draw continuation. Okay. So bishop e3, and this is bad. Why? Try to find a better move because the engine immediately, without even thinking, finds a better move. If you pause the video and found it, okay. If you didn't, I will show it to you. Oh, can you imagine? Rook h1, queen takes h1, bishop takes g5, and wins on the spot. You say, but why? No? Let me tell you why. Because king takes g5, he takes, boom, queen takes e7, and then obviously there is rook takes h1. So this is a very interesting continuation. I will pause the video for a second to put the position back to what it was. Okay, so he played this, white played bishop e3, which is a mistake, rook h f8, and now we see that our king walk is starting, king d2, queen h5, g4, queen h2, rook f2, rook takes, bishop takes, right? Yeah. Rook f8. And here finally Anderson plays this. Oh, nice. I think it's a beautiful game in any case. Also, if obviously there are some mistakes, okay, yes, the aesthetic is what we like, right? Rook takes f2. Once more, the king starts to walk. Can you imagine where the king will finish? Eh? The king is walking from here, here, up to here. Can you imagine? This is the king walk. Beautiful. Rook d2, king c4, rook takes c2, king d5. And now there is a mistake because, and this is very important, kind of very important. Black played bishop f6, and this is what makes this king walk a real problem for black. Because in the end, white will get checkmate, practically. The move to play was this. Once more, a shout out to the authors, because here I see two names, Yosser Sirawan and Bruce Arthur, that they put really the diagrams in the right place, because I can follow it. You see, he put the diagram in this position, so I can return back very easily once I make the moves of the variation on the board. Okay. In other cases, it's impossible because they don't put the diagram, but they put a very long variation, and then you have to return to that position, and maybe you make a mistake. So I'm really happy that the book is showing the diagrams, so in the right place. So it said this is the right move, and it shows you why. Because after this, rook takes h2, rook takes h2, and king e6. White has a better endgame, but there is no clear win. Okay, so this is why. And in the end, you will see that the king cannot go here because this bishop is controlling this, and black can play this and this checkmate. You understand? So if the king goes here trying to give checkmate, the problem is that he plays this and then this, and the game is over. Also for white. So again, the position of the bishop here or here made a huge difference in the end. Can you imagine that? Like a silly change of a square made all the difference. Now I will pause the video for a second and put the position of the board like it was before. Okay, I think the position is correct. Or at least I hope so, because mistakes are always made by humans. So bishop f6, the right move was bishop d6. King e6, very great move. Obviously, also rook takes h2 would have won, so no problem about that. Bishop takes b2, king f7. Please notice that he's avoiding to take the queen. Very beautiful in a sense. Now the threat is queen g6 checkmate. And how does it continue? Rook f2 and king g8. Once more, I hope you notice the problem. If this bishop instead of here was here, but king g8 now is checkmate. Okay, so this is clearly the problem of deciding which of the two squares where to put the um, the bishop. Okay, and now of course the checkmate is here on g7. I don't think you can avoid it. You can avoid it one move, playing rook sacrifice. Then you have to sacrifice, and then it's over practically. So the game is over. It's not. It's obviously, nothing is perfect in chess, but and it's beautiful all this kingwalk. I hope you enjoyed it. I love this book, and there are tons of examples. By the way, I didn't tell you, but since Petrosian played a lot of this king walks. So Petrosian was the ninth world champion. Please read the book and enjoy it because it's really fun to see these historical examples.